Hi, my name's Pamela, and tonight we're going to hear from Carmen. She was a Muslim but has become a Christian, and we're going to hear from her about how and why she came to make this change in her life. Hi, Carmen.
Hi.
So tell us something about your history and your life as a Muslim.
Well, growing up, I grew up in a Catholic-based home, so I wasn't born a Muslim. And my family just have no interest in religion, no interest in God, no respect for that. So when I was in high school, I came across a girl who was a Muslim and became very close. And her family being Muslim, very strict Muslim. And in my heart, I always felt for God. I always believed in it. I was always searching for something. And I come across her and her family. They were very welcoming, and I had great respect for their love of God and their strict rules. So that's how I came introduced to the Muslim faith. And then I became more close, and then I became a Muslim through them, through that way. But
So how long were you a Muslim for?
I was a Muslim for 2 years.
And so how did you make that transition from a Muslim to a Christian? How did that happen?
Well, after meeting my husband, he became Muslim pretty much the same way I did. But he was going to a university close by, and he met a Christian man. And he has a book table, and my husband invited the man over and just to discuss the Bible. I was reluctant because I didn't want to have anything to do with Christians. But my husband invited him over, and they discussed, and he showed us so many things that we didn't know about the Bible. Just the truth. When you're a Muslim, they just tell you complete lies, or without even showing you the Bible itself. So for the first time actually opening the Bible and reading it, I was introduced to the truth and just the differences of Islam and Christianity and God's love of Islam from God's love of a Christian view. It's just, we met through that, just reading the Bible through that man, inviting him over and just questioning, having the bravery to actually ask questions. So we were introduced through the Christian faith through that man.
Wow. So when that happened, when you and your husband became Christians, how did your family react?
My family, because they were a Christian family, so they were just relieved that I was not Muslim anymore, pretty much. But for me, my real family at the time was my Muslim family, because that's who I related to. But as soon as I became a Christian, that girl who was my best friend for years, I was close to her than anyone. 7 years we were best friends. I loved her. She straight away, without facing me, said, I don't want to have anything to do with you, and I don't have any respect for you. So my real family instantly said, I just don't want to have anything to do with you. My Islamic family, straight away, nothing to do with me, no respect for me. I was gone in a second.
Wow. It's very hard.
Yeah, it killed me.
Yeah. And you're not in contact with her now?
I try to be, but I see her a lot, but she just ignores me. Okay. I tried.
So how has becoming a Christian changed your life?
Tremendously. Just the way I wake up in the morning, I feel loved and grateful for what I am, sure of everything, just not having to question, just have complete faith in that I'm saved from what I believe in, I'm loved. It's just totally different from being Islam, where you just don't feel that way. You just feel terrible person all the time. It's like you're controlled by something. It's such a bad feeling from being the difference between being a Muslim and a Christian. Just feeling loved is just a great new thing from being a Muslim. Just I didn't feel that as a Muslim.
If there was a Muslim listening to you now, what would you want to tell them?
Look for yourself. Don't just have somebody tell you what to believe in. Be sure. Question. If you are doubting Islam, you should, even Islam says itself, go to a Christian. It says it in the Quran, go to a Christian. We did that, and then look what happened. We're completely changed from it. Just question. Be sure of what you believe in. Read the Bible. Read it. Don't just listen to what other Muslims say. Go to a Christian, and you'll find difference in what Muslims say. You definitely have to read the Bible, not just have hearsay.
Yeah.
That's what helped us, just reading the Bible, definitely.
Yeah. What would you say to the church about how they can support Christians who come from a Muslim background?
In my experience, the church was the biggest help for me, because when we started to question, it was already a dangerous situation just to do that. The church itself became our family, my husband and I, because they saw where we were living and they gave us a new place to live. They gave us a house. I mean, I'm not saying every church to do that, but at least to make them feel safe and just make them feel like family, because they took us in and they just helped us. Every day they came to teach us something new, just to keep in contact with us and just keep us safe. They just became a family for us. The churches definitely was a big help to us, just to make us feel hospitable, because the Arab family and the Muslim family, say for example, I think what draws Muslims to that is that safe family community, and I think a church really needs to take that in consideration, the culture of the Muslims. A Muslim definitely, in my experience, needs that family closeness, because it definitely helps. The church needs to just be aware of all that, the safety issues and that, just to make them feel safe. That's a big thing, I think. When I became a Christian, the church got us involved in different people. For example, there was men that have been overseas, or definitely what they can do with the church is have any Arab people around in the church, that just to help the Muslims to feel familiar. So, for example, when I was with my church, there was an Arab minister, which I was grateful for, and we felt connected to. So with a Muslim, if they're Arab, I think that they would feel more connected with somebody, their own culture, if they could possibly do that. That helped my husband and I. Definitely being something familiar from the Muslim, the Arabic culture, I think that helps the Muslims. They feel more familiar, like more comfortable. I think as a Muslim, for me, it was a bit uncomfortable for a Muslim woman to be around men. For a Muslim woman, I think that the women in the church should speak with her at first and then work her way into that. I think definitely you have to take into consideration the female Muslim, definitely, because that's more different to the male, because they interact differently. I think a female Muslim couldn't speak with a male for maybe a couple months, I think. But I think that you definitely have to take in consideration the differences between a female Muslim and a male Muslim.
So being sensitive to the culture they've come from.
Definitely, you have to be very sensitive, especially towards the women and the male too. I mean, you definitely have to take into consideration the culture.
So how has becoming a Christian changed your life?
Becoming a Christian changed my life, as in I now feel a relationship towards God. As a Muslim, it was a language barrier for me, because the main language of being a Muslim is Arabic language, and when you pray you recite in Arabic, and me being English spoken, when I pray 5 times a day, even though most people 5 times a day is a long time to pray, a lot of times to pray, but I felt no connection because I'm reciting in a language that I don't even understand. So now when I pray to God, it's with feeling and understanding. It's like I'm talking to you with God. I can get my feelings out, my needs, or I can praise God and understand what I'm saying, and that is a big difference to me. I feel like I am useful now towards God, and my friends, I can pray for them, and that's a big difference to me.
So you feel connected to God in a way?
Definitely. I feel like I'm in a relationship with God now, and I'm seen now just because I'm in a relationship and God can understand what I'm saying. I can understand what I'm saying. It's just a big difference, definitely, in that.
Yeah. Okay. So why did you become a Muslim? What attracted you?
What attracted me to the Muslim faith is, my Muslims that I knew made me feel that as a Muslim, you're this righteous person, and that you can do so many things that make you a good person, and you can earn your love from God pretty much. Like, you pray 5 times a day and then you're set, or you fast for a month and then you're a good person. And it just made me feel like, I can do these things and that'll make me a good person. But then as a Christian, I know that if I pray 100 times a day but then I have bad thoughts the whole day, what is the point? What is the point of just earning from praying and showing off to the whole world when it's not personal between me and God? I just felt that it was fake in the end. That's how I felt. Like, I didn't need to do these things to be saved. What about my faith is what I started to question in the end of being a Muslim and all that. So I just was turned off by the whole wanting to be righteous by the end of it. It was all about, in the end of becoming a Christian, it was about my faith, not about, oh, how many times did I pray today? Oh, I need to do all this, I need to fast, I need to give and show off my faith. When now I feel that now as a Christian, that my faith is what it's between me and God that matters, not what my best friend feels. I don't have to pray 5 times a day in front of her. It's my relationship with God now, not the fakeness of the all putting on a show for everybody else. It's my relationship with God.